this would look magnificent once it's finished. Hey, how are you going, guys? It's me again, Dan, and welcome back to Hearns TV. And as per usual, I'm going to take you through an unboxing video of a really cool model plane. Today, I have got for you a very special aircraft, one of the most famous planes in history. It is the Messerschmitt 109, the G-10 in particular. Very famous German fighter from the Second World War. Nearly 35,000 of these were made in about 32 different variants. And for a long time they seemed invincible while the rest of Europe was cowering beneath it. Yes, it was the cornerstone of the Luftwaffe and their air power for quite some time. It was designed by Wilhelm Messerschmitt in 1935, entered service with the Germans in 1937 and cut its teeth in combat. Not long after that, in 1937, during the Spanish Civil War, and saw extensive action pretty much all over the world, well, anywhere that Germany was involved with. Yeah, so the Messerschmitt 109 G10. Let's have a look at it and learn a little bit more about it. So yeah, let's have a look at the beautiful artwork on the front. I love the look of this thing. It's just a magnificent aircraft, so attractive. Trumpeter kit, and this is a 24 scale. So it's just going to be a pretty big kit. Now, the G models in particular, they started producing them in 1942, and the G10 entered service in 1944. It was the G models were the first ones to have pressurized cockpits, actually, and we'll start with let's have a look at the wings first. We'll start there before I go on any further. And as you can see here, you've got the underside and the upper part of the wings here. Actually, despite the fact it was a very potent aircraft, one of the drawbacks of the Messerschmitt 109 was right here. It's landing gear. A lot of fighters at the time, their landing gear opened out that way, but the Messerschmitts actually sort of closed in like that, and the landing gear was actually quite narrow, and the ones that were lost in accidents were almost all during landing because the was a little bit weak. But one of the very few drawbacks of the 109. But as you can see here, pretty decent sized aircraft here, and the details here are immaculate. I don't think the camera truly does it justice, but you can see all of the little rivets, panel lining here, and here on the underside of the wings, you can see all of the details here. Magnificent detail, actually. Very good. Like that a lot. Now, we'll have a look at now the fuselage of the aircraft. One single piece, actually, and as you can see, you can lift up here and you can get to the engine and have details on the engine. Daimler-Benz engine on the G10 model of the 109. Very weighty engine, actually, on this plane. So when it went into a dive, it could pick up speed, tremendous speed, very quickly, and it was a regular tactic of Luftwaffe pilots to, when they were being attacked from behind, they'd turn over and dive and just pick up immense speed and pull out. Another thing about the Messerschmitt 109, the G10, that makes it physically distinctive from the other models is here, the bulges over the engine cowling, where they had to make room for much larger guns. The machine guns in the nose on this thing were MG 131s that were 51 caliber. So yeah, just higher than a 50 caliber, 13 millimeter, very, very potent round, that one. And here, another thing that makes it physically distinctive, this is the air intake that went just above the supercharger that was on the right-hand side, I believe. Yeah, I could talk about this plane for hours. I'm not going to, but I'm going to go into quite detail because I really like this plane and this kit. Alrighty, now, what do we got here? More of the engine cowling here. This is, as you can see, I'll hold it up to the camera. As you can see that's where the machine guns would have fired out from. And on this side over here, that's where the air intake for the supercharger was. And we have the, in addition to the two machine guns in the nose, there was a 30 millimeter cannon that fired through the dead center of the propeller. So all of the firepower in the G model, in the G-10 was focused directly forward, and that is, with a 30 millimeter cannon and two 51 caliber machine guns, that is immense forward punch. Even a short burst from this thing could do devastating damage to even quite large aircraft. Remember, this was in 1944 that the G-10 was in combat, so it was doing a lot of intercepting of American bombers. And here we have the propeller, nice round thick propeller. And what else have we got here? As I was talking about earlier, here we have the engine, all of the details for the engine. Now I'll hold this up so you can see a little bit more. There's excellent detail on this thing, especially where the propeller sits would be attached to around the front. This is excellent. I'm very impressed with this. More experienced modelers, you're going to enjoy this kit, most definitely. In particular, fans of the German aircraft as well. Yeah, very impressive. Another thing that's impressive about the Messerschmitt 109, no, not just the G model, before we go any further, is that all three of the highest scoring fighter pilots in history all flew the Messerschmitt 109. The highest scoring fighter pilot of all time was a man named Erich Hartmann, who shot down 352 of the opposition's aircraft. If you look into the tallies of all the greatest fighter pilots in history, you'll find the ones at the very top are all German, because they didn't have a pilot rotation program in place. In the other nations, when their pilots became aces and got a lot of experience, eventually they would be rotated out of the combat zone so that they could teach their experience and give hints and tips to all of the upcoming pilots that were going to go into combat. And the Luftwaffe didn't have anything like that in place, which is why the German pilots had so many victories, more than anybody else. It's also one of the reasons why very few of them survived as well. Now, we've got more of the G model here, all of the smaller details. This is from the inside of the cockpit here, and more, this go just behind the pilot, behind the canopy. And now we're going to take a nice long look, we'll take a look at, here we have the front of where the front of the nose, where the propeller would stick out from there, there and there, and under wing, or under the centerline fuel tanks, an additional fuel tank should I say, and more parts for the engine. And there are the guns right there, the two MG 131s. Another thing about the Messerschmitt 109, its range wasn't that great to begin with. Even with the enhancements that came and the adaptations to the newer designs, it never quite had the range that a lot of its contemporaries did. And yeah, now we'll have a look at, we got the covers for the landing gear there, and the tail planes, and then some of the doors that would go, what should I say, flaps that would be attached to the wing. And then we've got here the canopy. Oops. Yeah, distinctive about the G model was its three-piece canopy there. a little simplified. Actually increased the pilot's field of view. Like I said, it was pressurized, so it could go up to higher altitudes. And one other thing that I like about this kit, I like about any kits that do this actually, is they include actual rubber tires. Actual rubber tires to go onto the aircraft. That's really cool. You can put a little bit of weathering on there to make them look like they've been, been landed on a few times. But yeah, extremely impressive aircraft, extremely impressive kit. This is clearly, like I said, it's for a more advanced modeler. It is quite big, but yeah, this would look magnificent once it's finished. Once you put the work in it, you know, bring out the details with the panel wash and everything. Yeah, this is spectacular results, I think, that yeah, you could get. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching me do another unboxing video. I really enjoy making these videos and telling you all about this stuff. But yeah, all right, don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the store. Tune in next time, and as always guys, rock and roll.